He's a terrorist. Now, all of these titles, Kamala predecessor, our Prime Minister, and her government, members of our government, these are the words that have been used to describe the president and his government in Venezuela, causing some of their citizens to flee from that man, that evil and wicked man. And all of a sudden, my friends, she wake up a few days ago and decided that over nearly 40, let me get you the exact number, 3,518 Venezuelans who have not been a burden on our society, seeking a better living in the moment until better can be done when they could go back home. She have decided to cut off their work permit, my friends. So they are now, they have joined CPEC, they have joined the URP, they have joined the Civilian Conservation Corps, they have joined the contract workers throughout the public service and government agencies who have been fired and dismissed by this oppressive and nasty-minded government, my friend, led by Kamala predecessor. What have these people done? What have these Venezuelans done to she, that she must now turn on them and will treat them like that? They have done nothing. They have, in fact, they have openly said that the reason why they come here is because of Maduro and his behavior, that she also agreed that he and the devil like his brothers. Yeah? And now she's now taking away the little living, my friends, the work permit that would allow them to stay in Trinidad and seek employment or create employment, my friends. She have decided, I'm going to take that away from them. My friends, the Venezuelans in Trinidad and Tobago, these are not the people who told our Prime Minister that she's a drunkard, that she came crawling. It's not them. Now she is vindictive. Her vindictiveness is coming out, my friend. It is showing. Yeah. These people are not persons in prison. They are law-abiding. They seem to be productive because they follow the law. They came and they registered. They get a work permit. And now, without anything in place to treat with them, she's now trying to send them back to Maduro, who she claimed is one of the worst human beings on the planet. But you want them to go back to Maduro. What is happening here, my friends? So we have a set of people, again, who have lost their job because of a direct intervention by government, my friends. Again. And you know the jobs that they do. You know, when you're coming home on a evening and you're traffic jam, whether you're going wherever direction you're going, you're seeing these people on the highway in the hot sun. In the hot sun, my friends. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 8 o'clock, selling these fried plantain chips in these bars and other little things that they made. And they're selling and they're hustling in the hot sun, my friends. They're selling water. The work permit is for them to stay in Trinidad and Tobago so that the police wouldn't harass them. And that is how they're able to come in the open and sell water and do their own little business to help themselves, to pay the rent, to even assist with our economy spinning and moving. And now she have decided to take away their jobs from them, because if the permit is taken away, then they cannot apply for a job. She has left them now to be taken advantage of by the evil ones among us. This is what I read in the papers today, my friend. Right here. Trinidad and Tobago. Look at it. Look at it. Yeah. 3,518 Venezuelans, my friends, have been living here without disturbing we or anybody, my friends. Now, these 3,000 people would have to be now added to the 200 that she was planning to deport, who would have committed crime in our country. Yeah? Yeah? So, the Venezuelan minister recently said, as though they will not be accepting any person from Venezuela being deported to Trinidad at this time because it would be a national security risk for Venezuela. Now, Trinidad and Tobago is now declaring that these people, the reason why we need to get rid of them, they are a security risk, my friends. Because our Prime Minister don't know if what is happening in Venezuela, if these people here could turn against us and her government and start to act up. So it's better we get rid of them. Man, woman, and child. You can imagine that? But they're telling you and I to stay calm. Stay calm. Yeah. But they're frightened, my friends. They're frightened. But you stay calm. Look what they're doing. What causing that? Trinidad and Tobago? Fear. Fear is causing that. Fear is causing that. But they're telling me and you to stay calm. My friends, just Friday, first they are fearful. First they are fearful. They started a rumor, I call it a rumor, but it's facts. Yeah. And cause a panic in this country, making people believe that some type of invasion or some kind of thing is around the corner, and we need to get this, and people went helter-skelter in traffic, in groceries, busy looking for the children, that'll leave work, school shut down. My friend, that is the government doing. That was the government of Trinidad and Tobago, that's what they're doing. It was well calculated. Well calculated. Not by accident. You know why? On the social media, they would have seen where persons were calling for persons, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, to come down by the Red House to protest, my friends. To come down to the Red House on Friday to protest, to show your disgust with this government and the action it has taken in treating with Venezuela and CARICOM and even the very people of Trinidad and Tobago. And after seeing what is happening around the world with our Prime Minister and our government, it would have really caused some pain and some serious hurt. That look, the people of Trinidad and Tobago is now would be protesting that they don't want a war in Venezuela. They want America to stay home. We don't want a war, because what they want the people, and the message must be as though we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, is in agreement. You see how we staying quiet and nice? Because we are agreeing with her actions, my friends. We are agreeing with the actions that she has taken, claiming that she's fighting terrorism and drug trafficking and all these different things, knowing full well is a lie. Not one Coast Guard member from our Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force has been part of any joint patrol with the US government in bombing up or blowing up or running on trafficking or traffickers, my friends. But she has tied the country and the country's good name to what is happening in America, with America and their foreign policy concerning the Southern Caribbean and Venezuela, my friends. Claiming that she, as though she is championing some cause against the drug trafficking, the drug narcotics, the human trafficking, which is a lie. All of this mess we end up in here, my friend, is because of a lie that she's walking about in her head and repeating it as though it's a fact. All I am asking any reporter to point to us one joint patrol or even an idea that America made a request that Trinidad and Tobago should join with them. How we come to be fighting fire with fire, as she said in the United Nations, my friend. What fire are we fighting fire with? What fire we have to fight any fire? Our local firemen here doesn't even have a good fire truck. and if a fire break out somewhere, the place burn down before they reach. So talk about fire. What fire we have? What firepower we have to fight any drug lord with any gun shooting back at we? When and where did that take place? So we end up in a dilemma, an international dilemma, my friends. An international dilemma because of the dunceness of our Prime Minister and her government. My friends, that kind of heavy breeze blowing here, like nice breeze. Nice breeze. It's not kite season. Yes, Trinidad and Tobago. So we have now 3,518 persons living in Trinidad has now become unemployed again by the doing of our Prime Minister. What level of vindictiveness is this, my friends? The people who said that our Prime Minister went crawling to the drug narcotic government, the human trafficking government led by Maduro, who she said is not even the president of Venezuela, but a man called Juan Guaido. Yeah. She said she recognized Juan Guaido as the president of Venezuela. Then how the hell you end up going by Maduro begging him for oil and gas? How? Kamla Persad-Bissessar is sick in her mind, my friends. She's mentally ill. How? After going to our parliament and making a declaration that you do not recognize Nicolas Maduro as the president of Venezuela and his government because a narco or narcotic trading government with murdering people, they steal the elections, no democracy, undemocratic government, everything that you want to stay away from. What then could make our Prime Minister, according to the Venezuelan ministers, while passing the resolution to declare her persona non grata? Listen, my friends, while that was happening in Parliament, part of the statement that was made is that our Prime Minister is a drunkard, a drunk. She was so bad. Just want to know how important the gas and things that Venezuela had for us. Because she said, we don't need that. Right? All of a sudden, we don't need it. The same thing that she went crawling to after declaring Juan Guaido as the president of Venezuela, she went by Maduro for the oil and gas. Something wrong with her, my friends. Something is wrong with her. She doesn't understand how people in the world with sense operate. Like how dunce we could have, how dunce we are. It's a reflection of we as a people, you know. Because if we have a dunce Prime Minister, the world will believe that all of us in Trinidad and Tobago dunce, you know. Yeah. How? When they dismiss her, after she went crawling, my friends, and you know how she went crawling? She could not even address us and tell us, listen, you see that dragon gas dealer the PNM was trying to bring home and they failed? I am now going to make an attempt to see if I could get it. She couldn't even tell me that. You know what she was telling us? The sort of lies that they keep telling us up to Friday. The same lies, and they say it's only lies. Yeah. And like they're starting to admit that they was lying now because they said yes, the information was true. It's only lies. They lie to the public servants, telling them that it have the money there. Dr. Rowley and them don't like the workers, the anti-workers. They don't want to pay workers money. They want workers to suffer. We're going to pay it. Now the public servants say, okay, you're going to pay it, we will support you. 2 budgets, my friends, have been read in this country since the election. 2 budgets by Kamla Persad-Bissessar and her government. Yeah. And no allocation has been made for the CPO to work with, to say, okay, I will now or could now get the negotiations up and running, my friends. Yeah. So he don't even know what percentage, if at all even want to start, he working with. Where's the money? Where has been the money to, where's the money supposed to be allocated so that he know what he's working with, my friends? This same government put aside and allocate money for persons who are unemployed. They don't know how much, but they put aside $785,000. They call it some, as though they're going to start some new program, my friends, for unemployed people in this country. What that could do, they stop or cut a huge part of the budget for the on-the-job training program for our young people leaving school and need the experience. So when they apply for the job, they'll say, what experience you have? Well, I say, well, I spent 2 years or 6 months in the area and environment, and this could help for them to be employed. They cut that. Now if you cut that, and that's for young people, what is we doing, my friends? Our health minister in the Finance Standing Committee, Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this. Our health minister in the Finance Standing Committee, when they were being questioned about the budget, my friend, and the allocations, admitted that the amount of money that has been allocated for health has now been reduced by $100 million. Listen good, eh? Now, there's no shortage, as though people in Trinidad stop get sick. I don't know how they was able to work out, like it got less people sick, and you don't need all that sick people. I don't know, my friends. But $100 million less than last year. Listen, but in the budget, the part of the budget presentation is an election promise to open the children's hospital that they claim that they have in Cuba. So $100 billion less, but a new hospital going to open in Cuba. Big achievement. Where the money coming from, the personnel coming from, the workers coming from, the medication coming from, the equipment coming from, where this thing coming from? If you're going according to you, because it's a big achievement to open the thing, you would think that $100 million would have been added to cater for the opening of the children's hospital. Not so? So it's lies again, my friends. So what's happened? Those who could hardly get medication, now it get worse, because $100 million has been cut from the healthcare of citizenry, my friends. Everything that is supposed to be beneficial to the people. And let me tell you something. You see, I recently saw where a gang of ghosts was crying out on the television, asking Kamala Persad-Bissessar and her government, reminding her that Christmas is right there, and they would like to get something to buy a toy for the child, to buy a ham. But it's ghosts, my friends. You see them people, all them people I saw on the television there? It's ghosts. That is the word she used to try and clear her conscience from the wickedness that she have done to the poor among us, my friends. Those among us that is in need and we need to look out for. Yeah. So she called it, you see them people I saw on the television there, my friends, and in the newspapers, begging and asking for to start back a project in their area, the CTEP or something, so that they could get $1 to buy something for the Christmas, my friends. These are the issues that we have to be seen about. We have enough things happening internally. How we end up in all this confusion with people and world issues that have nothing to do with we. Because our image must be one of importance. I need to let the world know that I am here. Yeah, the world know you are here. Now the world know you are a drunkard. Yeah. And one who ain't know what they're doing. Yeah. That's what the world know. Yeah. The world know you're a liar too. Because you went to the United Nations saying that we fighting fire with fire. When she was supposed to say, listen, I am here. I also want to thank let the world know I'm thanking really people of Trinidad and Tobago and the Southern Caribbean or the Caribbean are thanking Donald Trump, President Trump and America for bringing these ships to fight, because it's years nothing like that, my friend, nothing like that. Nothing like that. She saw an opportunity to present herself, even if it means to lie in the United Nations, my friends. It's built in like everything is lies. My friend, what fight she fighting? Who she fighting? I want anybody to identify, because tell us who you're really fighting. Because if you're fighting, you must be able to identify who you're fighting, what you're fighting, when you started the fight, when you started this fight, that in, because like China fight. My friends, all we have to do, you see the question that I am asking? Ask yourself those questions. But wait now, who it is we fighting? Who is the drug people that we fighting? Since we fighting, what is we do? Let me hear. Because we're in a war. Yeah, it's a war. My friend, when she had the $1.5 billion worth of equipment, yeah, with the helicopter and the fast boat, with the rapid fire and the missile launchers, and the boats could have stayed in the ocean for months without coming to shore, and guard our borders and fight. What did she do? What did she say? Trinidad and Tobago. Tell me if I'm making up this, you know. What did she do and what did she say? Kamla Persad Bissessa, the champion fighter against the drug and narcotic, yeah. She accommodated the drug trade, my friends. She accommodated the drug cartel. Yes. She accommodated them. She cancelled the OPVs so that the drugs and the guns could come and flow in the Caribbean into Trinidad and Tobago and go to America free without disturbance, my friends. Without disturbance. I am not making up this. You could check that on any news. Any news. If you go Grenada and take a newspaper around the time, you will see it in Grenada newspaper. You go Guyana, you will see it in Guyanese in the archives, you will see, well, Trinidad and Tobago cancel. That is international news. Kamla Persad Bissessa. Yeah. No, she's pretending, my friends. Pretending. And hoping that a war come. She really hoping war break out, you know. Because she don't know how to deal with the economy that she got from Dr. Rowley and the PNM, that the IMF declared for the first time in 10 years we were on a path of steady growth, my friends. Where our economy is at the moment. Well, if you could reach, we could fire them Venezuelans who selling them planting and them on the road. Them fry. That what happened, you know? It's them people with the fry planting she fire, you know. She take away the work permit, you know, my friends. And you see that the water they're selling? These are the people she fire. Our Prime Minister. Trinidad and Tobago. Don't look bad though. And you know, if all this a woman going down Frederick Street, pass across Charlotte Street, she might fire you too, you know, just looking at you, you know. She fired them Venezuelans who does be on the highway when it comes to Shogunas, going down south, going in the east, with the hat on and the long thing protecting them from the hot sun. These are the people she fire, my friends. But what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago? Yeah. So don't feel as CPEP alone, she's not discriminating. And URP. I don't know, she might call them ghosts too. Yeah. My friends, our country is led by a group of people, a group of tons people, tons. Yeah, unfit, my friends. Yeah, and they all know it, tons. Let me just share this with you. You see this, my friends? This is the draft estimate, corporation's draft estimate of development program expenditure 2026. These are the budgetary allocation, the estimated budgetary allocation for corporations in Trinidad and Tobago. I would have mentioned it at time, and I didn't have the document at the time with me, somewhere in the car. So I said, let me just share this with you all this morning. My friends, you know, you would hear those corporations that is controlled by the People's National Movement. You will hear they complaining about money that has been allocated to these corporations for the year coming to run the corporations and to maintain the borough or wherever they may be. The Arima borough, the allocation under the PNM, my friends, was $18,250,000. Listen, for the Arima Borough Corporation. The Arima Borough Corporation under the PNM. The wicked PNM people and them, under them. Count 18. Under the UNC, who are for the people and will look out for the people and not oppressive to the people. So the UNC now have allocated money for the Arima Borough Corporation. Let us see, which is PNM held, right? Good. Here how much? $5,600,000. Now, I just said that the wicked PNM Rowley and them fellas and them, wicked, he and him both and them, they allocated 18,250,000 for the Arima Corporation. But that is PNM thing, so like the favoring PNM Arima, eh? Alright. Well, the UNC came in office and say that's too much money for the Arima Corporation to manage their affairs. So we will take away $12,650,000. So the Arima Corporation have to run the whole year with $12,650,000 short or less than last year. That Arima are dealt with there, right? But Arima, under the wicked PNM, was 18,200,000, right? So right below Arima, you will see Shogunas. So under the oppressive and wicked PNM, led by a man called Dr. Rowley, that man wicked too bad enough. Hear what he did. Hear the evil that he did to the Shogunas borough. That man they call Dr. Rowley. He gave the Shogunas borough in 2025, he and this man they call him both, $17,250,000 to run the Shogunas Borough Corporation. Exactly $1 million less than Arima. So the wicked PNM give Shogunas Corporation, and you know that them is UNC. Yeah. So since them is UNC, we wouldn't give them the same as our PNM Corporation. We give them a million less. So we give Shogunas 1 million less. That's what Dr. Rowley and the man they call him did, where Shogunas is concerned. Hear what the UNC did with Shogunas. Shogunas Borough moved from 17,250,000 to $37,960,000, my friends. An increase of 20,710,000. An increase of 20,710,000. That's the increase. But listen, but Arima didn't get an increase. They got a decrease of $12,650,000, my friends. So they just Arima and Shogunas are showing you here. Arima got an increase from 17,250,000 to 37,900,000, almost 38 million. Yeah? And the increase is 20,700,000. And so now these two corporations doing the same work, see about the same type, but you see the PNM thought so. So they give both of them almost the same thing to function, UNC PNM. When the UNC came in office, they said, no, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. The UNC now take away from Arima 12 million, you know, my friends. And the corporation has to function with 12 million less. The borrow. But Shogunas increase by 20 million, my friends. It ain't done there, you know. Diego Martin. The Diego Martin borough under the PNM was given $17,450,000 under the PNM, which is very close to Shogunas under the PNM, and a little more, yeah, about 200,000 more than the Shogunas, 200,000 more, right? You know what the UNC gave the Diego Martin borough? 11 million. 11,100,000 short of $6,350,000 minus, meaning less than what they got from the PNM. Yeah. The Penal Debe Corporation under the PNM had a standard thing where like everybody got around 17 million and more, just above that 17, 18. That's the thing, everybody, 17, 18 million. Like. The reason I'm saying this, when you look at the corporations as it relates to where the PNM seems to have won these corporations and the election and is in charge, where mostly is people of African descent, my friends. Mostly is people of African descent. Monies to maintain the borough and these corporations have been slashed by huge amounts, my friends. Well calculated. Because the black people are talking about. So when you're talking about treatment and fair treatment, it is clear that the PNM government under the oppressive Dr. Rowley was able to give each corporation around the same amount to manage their affairs for the year, my friend. Yeah. The UNT came in office and without any fear, they ain't afraid what people say. You could call them racist, you could call them what you want. We're in charge and we will take advantage of you for your dunceness too. We will, you see all the black people children who was able to listen to we, and all they will pay for that. who playing, that only don't know us. Because all you believe that we like all you more than people who looking like all you, well, we will take away the monies. So in all the corporation, the garbage collection, the water to fix the road, and these are main cities and capital of our city and thing, you know, my friends. Yeah. So what the corporations have to do now, with that kind of money, and the drop in the amount, they have to send home the workers too. Yeah. So when the year starts, the corporation will not have monies, because what they do, they take away the monies to manage the corporation. So the corporation will have to find way to subsidize, and who then will have to pay for that? Not the very corporation workers, because that's the trend. The government have decided, so long as you look like PNM, you're PNM, you're songing like PNM partner, we will damage you. We will damage you. That is the politics here. That is the politics. A politics of hatred, my friends. This is racial discrimination, you know. Systematic, supported by government, you know. This comes from the budget, you know, my friends. This is racism, you know. This here is racism, you know. If the CPEP and the URP and if all the feel that wasn't enough, look at the allocations for the corporations where African people seem to be most employed, my friends. Go and look. It's right here. I have it here. My friends, this is racism and discrimination, my friend. Political discrimination, my friends. That is what it is. And they are talking about Maduro, my friends. And they are talking about Maduro. That was shame. Yeah. Only lies. That is what it is. That is what it is, my friends. Yeah. What these Venezuelan people did to our government and Kamala Posadi, my friend, nothing. She went crawling to Maduro and his government, the same people that these Venezuelans run from, that she was saying is the devil and Maduro is the devil. She was saying that in our parliament. She doesn't even recognize Maduro as a government, as a president. A man called Juan Guaido is her president. How she end up crawling, like the word they use in the parliament in Venezuela, my friends. She crawled like a worm. I didn't say that. That is in the newspapers. I had them clippings in the car, you know. She crawled like a worm. Yeah. Crawl, my friends. And that's exactly what she did with us. Making us believe that the dragon deal is dead. When 2 or 3 weeks after she came into office, the first thing they did is write to America, asking them and begging them if we could get a license. Yeah. Or say, what is license? You know what to do? When she went to the United Nations, she take all the praise for Donald Trump and his campaign in the Southern Caribbean, bombing ships, bombing them boats with people and wherever it's having it. She said, we are fighting fire with fire. Yeah. Not once did she take time and praise Donald Trump and America for the work, if she think it's good work they're doing in the Caribbean there. She was too busy presenting the matter about herself. Yeah. My friend, that is mental illness. She's mentally ill. She's mentally ill. How? And when they expose her, when the Venezuelan expose her for coming and crawl, she gets so mad. She said, we don't need the oil and gas. We don't need that. When she find out we didn't need it, you know, as soon as they dismiss she and tell her she's persona non grata, she wake up. She wake up from the drunkenness, my friend. Say, we don't need them gas and the oil. We don't need nothing from them. You can imagine that. That is international relations for your money. That is international relations. That Prime Minister for your money. That is Prime Minister for your money, my friends. Yeah. When the thing takes she said all them people in CARICOM, they side with the Venezuelans and them. Yeah. And she had to now go and look. She go down and look for new allies outside of CARICOM. That's what she said. My friends, when Kamala Persad came in office in 2010, she declared to CARICOM that Trinidad and Tobago is no longer an ATM machine. Meaning don't come here and ask for nothing. Yeah. Because she's speaking down to them because them didn't have anything. A few years later, she hears Grenada might have some oil and gas. Guyana find a set of oil buried somewhere. Now she went begging them same people, the same CARICOM people who she called and say, we don't come here and beg. She gone begging by these people and them. She gone begging, crawling. The crawling Prime Minister we have, my friends. Trinidad and Tobago have voted for a crawling, creeping, lying Prime Minister. You can imagine that? After dismissing CARICOM brothers and sisters for years, yeah, as non-entity because they are nothing. So you could talk to them anyhow. Yeah. Yeah. They say when she asked them for the oil and gas and they say, well, what is she talking about? My cousin them in Grenada want to know, Preston, what is she talking about? Yeah. The man in Guyana, he want to know what is she drinking in Port of Spain. Our Prime Minister is known throughout the world as a drunkard. Basdio Pandey said she drink, wherever she drink and she fall on Gandhi statue. Basdio Pandey said that. He said that Jack Warner say so. It's not me, that's what he say. The line? And now, her incompetence and dunceness, yeah, she now trying to, my friends, ill-treat the Venezuelans who would be selling the little fried plantain and the little fried wherever thing on the highway. Take away the work permit, so the police had to run them down now, they have to hide. That no, they can't even, where they could have make the own little dollar and pay the little rent or wherever they stay in and survive. Take that away from them. Become more wicked. Become more wicked and advantageous than that. Eh? An advantage, my friends. That's what it is. It's advantage. Trinidad and Tobago, have a blessed day. Keep good. And I want to thank you for allowing me this time of Sunday morning. And until we meet again shortly. God bless. Thank you.